We are just days away, baby. Week 4, Monday Night Football. Giants, Seahawks. We're going to be live on the channel, so make sure you are subscribed and turn the notifications on. But I want to hear from all of the real ones out there. Be honest with me. Who do you got this Monday night? Is it the Giants? Is it the Sea Chickens? Let me know. Coming up on today's video, we're going to react to the latest Giants injury news and rumors. Will Saquon Barkley play on Monday night? We're going to talk about it as he was back at practice today. And we have some info on Andrew Thomas and Azeez Ojulari. We'll get to that in a second. Let's start with this, though. I was talking to somebody that may or may not be in the know of the Giants' plans, and he asked me this question. Should the Giants look to trade Parris Campbell? And my first reaction was no. I don't want to enter kind of a similar situation that the Giants faced last year where injuries started to stack up as the season went on at that wide receiver position, and they ended up having to sign practice squad players. But I will say this. Parris Campbell has been extremely disappointing so far with the New York Giants. And when I told him that, he responded with this. With Wan'Dale Robinson being back and Sterling Shepard barely playing, what is the need for Parris Campbell? I thought to myself, you know what? There hasn't been a need for him much so far this season. He hasn't done much so far this season. In 3 games played, the guy has 11 catches for 47 yards. 47 yards. He's averaging 4.3 yards per catch and 1.4 yards after catch per reception. He also has a drop. I had a lot of high expectations for Campbell coming over in the offseason from the Colts to the Giants. You see the speed. You see all the stuff he brings. But at the end of the day, he hasn't done anything. And whether that's because the O-line can't block or Daniel Jones was late, he honestly should have had a touchdown week 1 against the Cowboys. Jones was a little bit late on the read. It was that play where Campbell kind of went in there, acted like he was going to block and cut it outside. But think about it like this. If you have Hodgins, Slayton, Hyatt, Robinson, Shepard, and Cole Beasley coming off the practice squad PUP list in a couple of weeks, is there a need for Parris Campbell? He's only on a 1-year deal. Giants probably aren't going to re-sign him based off of what he's done so far. Could they maybe get a 6th or 7th round pick in exchange for the former 2nd round pick? I don't hate the idea. I would at least listen or potentially make some calls to teams that are wide receiver needy. I still think Campbell has a role on this team. I still think he can do something, but time is running out. Maybe he's a big-time player on Monday night, week 4 against the Seahawks. But if you want the Giants to beat the Seahawks, you got to subscribe. Sub for Giants dubs. We are on the brink of getting to 40,000 subscribers on this channel, and I need the help from all of the Giants fans out there. Hit that sub button for Giants content every day. Coming up in a second, we're going to break down the report that Saquon Barkley was at practice today on Thursday. Brian Daboll said he's day-to-day. Will he end up playing Monday night? I'll give you my opinion and what I've heard so far. But first, you got to get hooked up with an awesome sponsor we've got here on Giants Now, and that is Prize Picks. Go to prizepicks.com/CLNS and get a first deposit match of up to $100. Instead of battling versus thousands of other players, including pros and sharks, you just select 2 or more players, pick more or less player on their projected stats, and place your entry. Prize Picks was the most fun I've had, winning up to 25 times my money this football season. This is what it looks like when you're putting a lineup together. Prize Picks is going to set a stat line for individual players. You simply select more or less. I think this is the ticket that I'm going to roll with this week. I'm going to go with more passing yards for Daniel Jones. I think Waller and Jones are going to hook up a couple of times on Monday night, and I think Justin Jefferson is going to have a big day on Sunday. So I'm going with more on all of these. You can roll with my picks. You can fade my picks or make your own picks over at prizepicks.com/CLNS. The more players you have on your lineup, the more your payout is going to be. Daily fantasy sports made easy. You pick 2+ players, and you just simply choose more or less. It's really simple, and it's a lot of fun, and I promise you're going to love it. prizepicks.com/CLNS. And remember, promo code CLNS and Prize Picks will match your initial deposit of up to $100. Let's go to the injury report here. This comes out of Thursday's practice. All of these players on screen were limited participants. Ben Bredeson was back at practice as well, the left guard. He cleared concussion protocol. He is expected to be the starter there. Saquon Barkley is dealing with an ankle injury. We'll touch on him a little bit more coming up. Daniel Bellinger, unexpected, at least from what I've heard, to be on here. I do think he's going to play. Giants just keeping it kind of light for him as the week rolls on. DJ Davidson, only listed as limited. I thought this man's season was over after he had his elbow pretty much sliced in half against, who did the Giants lose to in week 3? The 49ers. They just start to blend together all at this point. Dirty play by the Niners there. I thought he broke his elbow. But the big news here, Azeez Ojulari and Andrew Thomas. Sounds like they will be back. The Georgia Bulldogs will be back for Big Blue. We'll talk about them in a second. Let's focus in on Barkley. He was a very limited participant at practice today. Didn't participate in any team drills, really only individual drills. Did a little ladder work, looked all right. Got a couple of pitches from Daniel Jones. We saw the burst one time. But the videos I watched that you can find on my Twitter at @MarshallGreen_, he looked like he was hesitant to put all of that weight on that leg that has the high ankle sprain. And Dan Duggan of The Athletic, the best in the biz in my opinion, said he is not convinced that Barkley is going to play Monday night. But it's only Thursday. He's got Thursday night, Friday night, Saturday night, Sunday night. That's 24 times 4. Sam, what's 24 times 4? 96. He's got 96 hours. Get right, Saquon Barkley. We need you. The Giants need Barkley out there. Whether he plays or not, though, they cannot be scared to run the football. On to Azeez Ojulari. Ojulari was a full participant he was participating in full-speed 2-on-2 pass rush drills. He's going full speed at practice. He's going to play on Monday night. And getting number 51 back on this front four is going to be huge for the New York Football Giants. One, it makes their defense more complete. A lot less pressure on Kayvon Thibodeau and Leonard Williams. Now you have to focus on Azeez, who in my opinion is the most technically sound pass rusher on this team. On top of that, you're playing a Seattle Seahawks offensive line that is not good. The picture shows Charles Cross right there, but he is not expected to play. Both of their bookend tackles selected in last year's draft are not expected to play. Their O-line is not good. Not as bad as the Giants, but it is not good. And you can get after Geno Smith. He does like to get the football out quick, so maybe the Giants don't try to bring a lot of pressure, but this front four has to win. They have to win. You have to be able to generate pressure with 4 in the National Football League, and when you're paying guys like Dexter Lawrence $100 million, you're paying Leonard Williams $30 million per year, and you use a top 5 pick on Kayvon Thibodeau and a top 60 pick on Azeez Ojulari, they need to win. If these guys don't disrupt Geno Smith on Monday night, maybe force a strip sack, make a couple of splash plays, the Giants are going to be staring 1-3 in the face as they look to take on the Buffalo Bills in Week 5. I'm also expecting Andrew Thomas to play. Giants season is on the line. It's time for him to play. It's a hamstring injury. You're an offensive lineman. I'm not saying he should have played this Week 2 and Week 3, but it was back in Week 1. There's been 22 days since you hurt the hammy. It's time for you to play. Because if the Giants lose, their chances of making the playoffs tank. Since 2020, when the National Football League expanded its playoff format to 42 teams, just 4 of those 42 teams, have made the playoffs. You can't go 1-3. And you can't do it when you're about to play the Bills and the Miami Dolphins. Good news, Andrew Thomas did say on Wednesday, though, that there is a good chance he plays. And that's good, because the season's on the line. We told you that. He has to play. He needs to play. We need him out there. Daniel Jones needs him out there. We highlighted it in the preview video, and you go back and watch that on the channel. The Seahawks do not have a good pass rush. This O-line needs to win. And it starts with big number 78, a top 5 offensive tackle in the National Football League play. Brian Daboll did say, though, that Marcus McKethan is expected to be the starting right guard over Joshua Ezeudu. If Ezeudu does play, it'll be because Andrew Thomas is out, but I'm expecting this to be the starting 5 at the line of scrimmage for the G-men. Andrew Thomas, Ben Bredesen, John Michael Schmitz, Marcus McKethan, and Evan Neal. We're going to get to 5 players that Giants.com tells us we need to keep our eyes out for this week. But first, stand up and show our man Andrew Thomas some love. Type his jersey number down below, 78. If you want to see Andrew Thomas out there on Monday night, let him know by typing 78. He might come across this video. Alrighty, players to watch versus the Seattle Seahawks. This comes from Giants.com. So it's not me, Giants.com, the big J's over there. Wan'Dale Robinson is a player that they think could have a breakout game. He returned to action last week versus the 49ers, had a critical catch on third down. I'm expecting his role to be expanded, and he's going to be more of a go-to target this week. Darren Waller is also a player that they think is going to be worth watching. Waller, in 3 of his last 4 Monday night games, has scored a touchdown, has not done that yet in a Giants jersey. No better time than the present. Let's put 6 on the board this week, Waller. Let's go. John Michael Schmitz is also going to be a player to watch. The Seattle Seahawks defensive line is not all that good, but it's got a lot of young talent, a lot of young players on the Giants O-line. John Michael Schmitz, he needs to be the stabilizer in the middle. I know he's a young kid, but it's time for him to step up and be an elite offensive lineman. Leonard Williams, another player that Giants.com has highlighted. Williams did not play good in week 1 against the Dallas Cowboys, but week 2 and week 3, I thought he stepped up and played better, specifically in week 3. I thought he played really good against the 49ers, and when you have the highest cap hit of any D lineman in the NFL, you need to play like it. We need some plays by the big cat. Then Micah McFadden was the last player they listed as a player to watch versus Seattle. I love the way McFadden flew around the football field in week 3 against the 49ers. I think he had 4 tackles for loss, 11 tackles total, had that pass breakup on the pass to McCaffrey in the end zone. I'm calling it a pass breakup. Some people call it a drop. Play didn't matter because there was a penalty, but at the end of the day, he showed you how dynamic of a player he can be. When he gets going downhill, he can make plays in the backfield, and he's not that bad when it comes to pass coverage. The Giants want to win. These 5 players, they need to be big-time, prime-time players. Let's go. What player steps up on Monday night, though? I want you to rub your crystal ball, speak to the genie inside of it, and let me know. What player do you think steps up on Monday night to help the Giants get a dub? Write their name in the comment section. And remember, you can give me a follow over on Twitter at @MarshallGreen_. Trying to get my Twitter cloud up. Trying to be a big-time Twitter guy these days. I need your help. Give me a follow at @MarshallGreen_.